just to follow up on the last video that I just made, I feel like this is the reason why social services should get involved in housing arrangements. If someone is offering to look after or help look after a child, social services need to get involved because they need to make sure that it's signed. Yeah, it's like it's definitely going to happen. Government is going to give you a bit more money to have a bigger house so that you can help. So that Sophie and Sophie and her partner can live together in this house, and you can all take responsibility for that. If social services got involved in that, then it would be fine because social services, like, I don't agree, I don't like forms and all sorts of this, but this is the sort of forms that people should be thinking about. The forms that are, well, this is the agreement. You agree. You'll get extra funding. You'll get a bigger house, but part of that deal is that this bedroom needs to be for these two, and you have to take responsibility in making sure that Sophie's never alone. If Marco wants to go to work, that's fine, providing Sophie's not alone with the child. If you had some, if Sophie and this whole housing agreement is being agreed, the social services need to get involved so that they can make some sort of paperwork in response to, this is your agreement. If we ever, and then they also need to say what would happen if, say, they show up at the house and find that Sophie is alone with the house, is alone with the kid, or not doing things properly. What would happen in that circumstance. So this is exactly, what's happening in my life is happening so that I can teach people things. I think it was very insulting how Marco thinks that the only reason why I'm saying this is just to insult someone and to hurt someone or to shame them so that I can get more views. I felt like that was quite insulting. Him doing that made me feel quite insulted. So I feel like, why am I supporting him? Why am I showing him help when I'm actually trying to teach people how things should be handled? I listened to that stupid meeting where they were just talking blubberish at each other. I don't know what it was, but it was a complete waste of time. Solicitors get a huge amount of money to chat rubbish, and it's annoying that they get paid for things like that. I don't know what these forms that they were talking about, but they didn't talk about the forms. They didn't say what was on them. They didn't say any kind of plan or anything. It was garbage what they were saying. Jarble, I've forgotten that word again. But this is the sort of plans that they should be thinking about placing, and they had no awareness of anything. But they were still in that meeting. They still brought up the idea of adoption. It was like Sophie's been told that the child is that Leo's not going to be adopted, and the younger one's not, but they were still talking as if that might still be a possibility. So it was like they had no awareness of anything that was going on in the case. And this whole meeting was just them throwing complicated words at each other to try and justify getting a paycheck at the end of the month. That's what it felt like it was. And it's annoying to think that this group will actually put a deposit down to this house. I think that they got the deposit back because they chose someone else, because they said they didn't. I think it was because she has a cat and a dog, and they didn't like the idea of it. They said that there was a cat and a dog, hence why she didn't get the house. But you know, if social services got involved and they were doing paperwork in regard to this, here's a plan. There's a house that that government should, government will help pay for Lucy's fare. Sophie has to rent off her flat so that can pay for that. But if that's the case, though, then that means that if there's 4 bedrooms and they're only going to get 1 bedroom because she's got 3 older kids, I think the older kids are kind of living at home, and so for that reason, I think she does actually need the 3 of the bedrooms, and so then technically they'll only get one extra bedroom, which kind of means that they, I don't know how it would work, but this is the sort of plan that social services should be getting involved with, how to guarantee, if someone wants to go to work. But the thing is, if the only reason why Marco and Sophie need help is so that Marco can work, then technically I feel like it's not really as much of a problem, because that he's choosing to go to work. But I'm looking at it from how things should be handled. And if this plan was going to be in place, I think social services need to get involved. Why? Because they need to make sure that there isn't going to be an argument, and then Sophie's just going to run off and feel like she doesn't have any rights to the house. If it's all arranged through by woman L, because of Marco, I feel like I have to change the names, but it's very hard to change the names. But yeah, if I feel like um, you know, if the only reason why she's getting this house is so that she can look after some, help look after a child, but say an argument happens and Sophie, and this doesn't turn out to be the plan, then basically she's just got a whole bunch more funding, and didn't really hold up her end of the deal, and therefore if social services get involved, they can actually make the deal and actually put it in writing. And some things just reminded me that some things need to be in writing. If you come up with an arrangement, ones that involve government funding or ones that involve an idea, a plan, you need to come up with some sort of forms and writing. My sister's, her mind changes a lot, her ideas change a lot, her plan changes a lot. She just goes with the flow most of the time, and the forms that they are doing just were completely, I don't know what they're about, but it's their views, their intake, this is, but it means absolutely nothing to Sophie. And therefore forms that are just like that, I think, are completely useless and completely irrelevant. And my mum read it and she said that there's nothing bad, it's all positive. But then I'd be like, well, if this form is all positive and there's nothing bad about it, then why is there's a high chance that you're not going to get Leo back until next March? Why is there going to be such a long wait? Why is everything being held back? I'm wondering if things are going to be held back because people know that that I'm going to